our intention is to just kind of make this more of like a podcast style call where we just have a good conversation and just share some value with you guys. I think value is good to be shared. And sometimes on these Sunday calls, we're like super specific with the value, and we're going to be somewhat specific with the value today, but we're going to be touching on different frequently asked questions, different things that we've learned throughout our entrepreneurial journeys. And it's actually wild. I'm going to see where my brother Tommy Ooze is at here so I can pin him. Where is he? Where is he? There he, oh, he pinned himself. Fantastic. And it's crazy. Before I even have you unmute, some people know the story, some people don't. And before we really kick this thing off, I think it's fair to kind of just share a bit more about ourselves. Where who are we to be hosting a call like this, and how we got to actually meet. So, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Donovan Taylor, also known as Mr. Donnie Dropout, on majority of social medias, and I've been in the world of entrepreneurship now for going on 6 years. It'll be 6 years in just about a month here, and it's been crazy. Completely changed my life. When I started, I was a full-time student at the University of Waterloo in Ontario, Canada, and I was in a program to basically become a teacher. I was a stepping stone program to become a teacher, and that's the passion, that's the route that I wanted to take. And at the same time, I had started to dabble a little bit in entrepreneurship. I always had like an entrepreneurial kind of mind. I had a paper route growing up, and so trading and investing was something that I started to dabble in while I was in university. And as I was going through the motions, I actually ended up meeting this guy who you may or may not know, who may or may not be spotlighted with me on today's call, at this Baseball Ontario place. We were at this like Baseball Ontario was like an entrepreneurial kind of like-minded individuals meetup. It was like a mastermind. If you've ever been to a mastermind, you know what I'm talking about, or just like a gathering, where people just have conversation and share their thoughts. So I was actually doing a bit of I was embodying that kind of wanting to be a teacher vibe of really what I was going towards in school, but in this Baseball Ontario place, and I was talking about investing. And then Tommy walks in. This guy, I've never met this guy before. He's like at the back of the room beside me presenting. He's got like the projector at the front of the room and stuff like that. And I'm just talking about charts and stuff. And I've never seen this guy before. So after the event, I ended up introducing myself to him. And the first thing I asked him was like, man, like, where'd you get such nice hair? I'm joking. That wasn't the first thing I said. The first thing I said was, Tommy, you're Tommy, right? Because I had heard of him. I'd never met him before. And he was someone who had been in the entrepreneurship space, relatively new and fresh into the space as well. But we just by a crazy flurry of circumstances, situations, people, and events ended up coming into each other's presence back in 2019. And so, Tommy, welcome to the call. I'm going to give you the floor just to talk a little bit more about that day, bro, because that day has a special place in my heart. We weren't working together at the time. I had just heard of you and was admiring your haircut without you even knowing it. So chime in, brother. Chime in.
Well, first and foremost, bro, I'm excited to be here to do this podcast style family call. Guys, let's give it back to Donnie. If you guys are fired up as well, drop some letter D's in the chat for Mr. Donnie Dropout. All right. My brother. But yeah, man, super excited to be here. For those of you who are guests who don't know me, my name is Tommy Hughes, 25 years old, been in the entrepreneurship space for the last 5 years. Prior to that, just went the normal route, was an individual that, man, I don't even know where to start with my story. I went to school, didn't get so good of grades, got like, I would say like 50, I think I got like a 56 in math. You don't got to be smart to make money. Shout out one of my mentors. They taught me that. They're definitely right. And then, I went to school for business, and, I was working as a bartender, server, did a 9 to 5 in marketing, was doing modeling, DJing, acting. Man, I was doing all sorts of things. And yeah, man. And then we ended up, getting in the industry of trading and investing and affiliate marketing. And you're going to hear a little bit more about that tonight. And then, yeah, to bring it all together, I was in the industry. Here's actually a really funny story, and I'm going to bring it to the baseball thing. I got started, okay, in our previous company, similar trading academy. All right. And I didn't know anything. Like, I was like brand new. Like, you're like, maybe that's you. If you're brand new, drop a one in the chat. maybe we just started going through the academy. That was me, right? So my mentor, the guy that signed me up, goes, "Hey man, you're the only person in Canada doing this." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, man, you have to pioneer the country." I was like, "How? Like, what do I do?" Like, I didn't
That's a
know.
big responsibility.
Yeah, he's like, "It's up to you, man." He's like, "I'm gonna teach you what to do." He's like, "Invite a bunch of friends over and I'll zoom in." And I was like, "Bet." I remember having an event, inviting like 5 friends over and just playing his video on the TV. It's funny, we dropped What is Revolt video today. Now we're making our own videos, but I played his. I didn't know how to speak. I was wearing pants too long, shirt way too big. I wish my brother was there. Isaiah's like, my brother, he's like, "Bro, where are all these people just coming into our house?" And then like my cousin shows up. He's actually on the team today. And yeah, the rest is history. But fast forward, I remember getting to like $600 a month of residual income. And then I went to this baseball event. I met this guy and he's like, "Hey man, come out to this event." He's like, prospect me. I was like, "Yeah, are you in this company?" I was like, "Yeah, me too." And we were both in the company, both in Canada. It turns out I wasn't the only person in Canada. So then I go to this baseball event. All right. There's like 20 other people doing this. I'm like, I'm not alone. What? This is crazy. I'm like, yo, there's people that are in the same company as me. My mentor lied to me. And then I walk in, I see this guy at the back, like just talking about Bitcoin. He's like charting up the charts, let alone I just joined, right? The charts, like candlesticks still look like Chinese to me, right? Maybe you're there right now. If you feel that way, drop a three. All right. I was like, dude, I don't understand any of this. I'm just fired up. You can make money in this thing. I'm ready to go. And I see this cute guy named Donnie at the back, right? Just on the charts talking about crypto and forex, and I was like sitting at the front, and then everyone's like, then the guy that invited me there did like a little intro for me, and I was like, "Hello, everyone!" Like it was great. It was really funny because the reason why we share this story is back in 2019 was when I first got started. I was 20 years old. Maybe you're 20 years old when it's called. That was 5 years ago now. And that was the day I met Donnie. And what's crazy is, we weren't even working together, bro. And I think that's why you came up with the title for this podcast call, which is collaboration over competition. And Donnie and I, guys, for those of you who don't know, like didn't work together for over what was it, 3 or 4 years, bro? 3.5 years, I think it was.
Yeah, it was a while that we weren't
We
working
knew
together.
each other for 3.5 years, had zero financial benefit to one another. But guess what? We always collabed. We always were good people. My first convention was his first convention. Like I saw him there, dabbed him up, like from the same city, but never worked together, until about a year and a half ago. And here we are today. So man, that was a good day, bro. That was a good day.
It's so interesting. Yeah, the yeah, it's a day that I'll never forget for sure. That spot that we were at, this was where we were holding events on a regular basis, just networking, masterminding, talking about how we can just really elevate in all areas. And I think those are conversations that I valued immensely at the time. And I still value them immensely because they're conversations that aren't had enough of. We get together and it's like the people that we hang out with and surround ourselves with. Sometimes or oftentimes I'll say we're just talking about things that aren't actually adding value to our lives. It's like, oh, did you catch the game last night? Yeah, the game was cool. Da da da, this and that. Talking about girls, talking about guys, talking about things that aren't, allowing us to move forward in ways that are beneficial and really just pouring into each other in a way that's valuable. And so those were events that I really cherished and opportunities to meet people like yourself that I really cherished. And collaboration will always be competition. I'm going to share the flyer just because, I think you look really good in it. And yeah, collaboration over competition. This is the flyer for anybody that's watching the replay, not familiar with what we're talking about podcast style. Really, we just want to have some fun, share some value, and have this conversation and be able to share that conversation with more people. But I guess something to kind of touch on briefly as well is you getting started at the time that you did. And this is a call that is for everybody. You're welcome to send this call out to whoever.
I said the bromance is getting heated.
I didn't even read the full message. I was like, is this call meant to be private?
This is more
Oh
of a
man,
conversation tonight, man. It's like you're watching a podcast live.
exactly. Yeah, live podcast vibes. But a question that I have for you is, because you were in business school for quite some time. You were in business school. You actually finished business school, if I'm not mistaken. You were modeling. You were acting. What was it that shifted you into this space? Like it's just such a big switch up for you to go from doing what you were doing to this. So I guess like why trading and investing? Why affiliate marketing? What was the spark that then ignited into a flame that you now have today?
You know what, man? That's an interesting question because, I remember I've always had like a work ethic, right? And you've known this about me. I have a shirt that I wear. I love. It's actually my favorite shirt right now. It says "Outwork everyone" on the back of it. And it's like Monopoly on the front, and it's the Monopoly guy on the back. It's lit. Anyways, that's always been my mentality. Just outwork everybody. Go as hard as you can. And yeah, I mean, I went to school for business marketing, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I just kind of chose something to go to school with. I don't know if anyone relates with that. Drop a one if you do. Like I was just kind of, told to go to school for something. And I was like, all right, well, a business I can apply to anything. I can market myself, right? So I was like, whatever, business marketing, I can market myself. And then I was, back then I was doing modeling, I was doing acting. I did like musical theater my whole life. Funny enough, actually probably helps with the public speaking today. And then got into more film, TV shows, on actually a couple shows on Netflix. Most people don't even know this. It's actually funny enough. And then I'm
What?
not telling you which ones though. And then
Bro, come
yeah,
on.
yo, chill. Anyways, that's
That's
not the
crazy.
yeah. So yeah, I did that. And then I found myself like, I remember I was DJing at the time too. I just got into that. And that was just from, that was just from being in college. But with that being said, I remember graduating. This is really the turning point. Before I actually even graduated, I have to give this story. I was like slinging essential oils. That was my first company. Shout out doTERRA one time. Do I have any oils down me? I got some deep blue rub. If you need any of this, let me know. I got you. This is good for I'm not gonna promote this, but it's good. They'll use the products. And oh my guy's got the oil. Caden's got the oil, okay. But yeah, so I got into that and I like accidentally like started making a couple grand a month and I didn't realize it was affiliate marketing, network marketing. And I was like, oh, that's cool. But I remember I got like severe concussion and I got a U-Haul door slammed on the back of my head, bro, when I was moving out of college. It was like my third or fourth concussion. So it was like pretty bad. I like imagine you put in a massive TV like this, and then a door is just like really gusty, windy day. It was like,
Mm.
right. And then I just dropped to the ground. And the reason why I share this story is I was in like a dark place for like 2 months. It was probably like the lowest point of my whole life, like super depressed, laying in bed. I had to lay in a dark room for 2 months. Anyone that has bad concussions, they know what I'm talking about. All right. And I came out of that. I was like, I don't want to sell oils. I was like, I graduated from business school. I was like, acting's annoying because you do like a million auditions to just get like one gig and they don't even pay that well. So
Mm.
like acting is like, very small percentage of actors actually make it. I was like reading up on this one girl and like, she was like, yeah, I'm an actor, but 385 auditions went by. She got nothing. And then her 386, she got like a huge gig, which it works, right? Persistence is key. Think and Grow Rich,
Sure.
100%. It could have went that route. But, I always had the like, it's funny. I did the acting, I did the speaking. I mean, I did the musical theater, but I think that kind of brought into the public speaking today. But to answer your question, bro, bring it all together. I sat down after I healed and did all the concussion healing exercises. And, I remember going to get like a specialist, da 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 da. And I got to that point where I was like, okay, I'm 20 years old. I need to get my shit together. I need to stop partying. I need to focus on my goals. I was like, how am I going to become a millionaire? I was like, genuinely, like, what is the way? Like, what is the route? How am I going to become successful? And I start Googling trading and investing and or how millionaires make money. I don't know if you guys have ever Googled that. Drop some dollar signs in the chat if you've ever Googled how to become a millionaire. I definitely did. Not ashamed of it whatsoever. And I started Googling that stuff, man. And I guess I'm the only one. All right. But I
There's all
Googled,
the like how to make $1 million trading was like mine, but yeah.
yeah, mine was how to make $1 million. And then yeah. So I found like trading and investing. I remember walking to Scotiabank. Shout out Scotiabank if you're in Canada, you're not richer than you think. And then went there and they're like, yeah, man, download iTrade. You can like figure it out. And I was like, all right, cool, man. My brother ended up meeting this guy at Tony Robbins. I was 16. It's kind of how I got on the mindset side of things. And we just follow each other on Instagram. He started posting trading the way you post trading, Donnie. And I just DM'd him. I was like, yo, bro, put me on. Got on a Zoom call, literally signed up after watching his video. And that's how I got into the industry. But you know, the reason why I share that story is because it matters, because I could have continued to go all in with, acting, for example. I could have went all in with, DJing. I could have went all in with um, whatever the case may be, anything else really. I could have just continued working a 9 to 5 in marketing, right? And scaling that. But I saw trading and affiliate marketing packed together. I was like, there's no cap on both of them on how much money I can make.
Mm.
I was like, you're telling me I can make $100 from my phone? You're telling me I can make $10,000, $100,000 from my phone? Not only from pressing a couple buttons, but also helping other people. I've always loved helping people. I've always loved leadership, been a natural leader in life, through sports, through, high school, this and that. But I saw the power of uncapped income. You
Mm.
work a job, you're capped. You're capped to what your boss tells you. Here you have a compensation plan where the max you can make here in our company is $1 million a month. It's not a lot of money. It's horrible. You know what I mean? $1 million a month. Who wants to do that? So, I saw that and I was like, I'm being sarcastic, by the way, dry humor.
Read the room, people.
Right? I was like, what the fuck? So essentially put, I was like, man, like this is like insanely powerful. I was like, I just can get paid from telling people how to do it. What really clicked for me, bro, was like I wanted to just trade at first. Most people wouldn't expect this because I'm, all about leadership, creating success stories, this and that. But I remember like making my first $232 from my phone. You know that feeling where you're like, it's a live account. You're a MetaTrader. I couldn't sleep at night. I was like staring at the numbers, watching the blue fluctuate. If you know, you know. And bro, I remember closing out my first trade and taking my first withdrawal, and I was like, man, I'm telling everybody about this. I started telling people. I remember I hit like 600 a month in literally like a week and a half of building this business, and then I met you actually right after that, which was funny enough, that whole baseball story. And man, I just like decided to really take this thing seriously. I saw, the people that were doing it big and making 6 figures, 7 figures in affiliate marketing and also trading. They were what? They were treating this like a profession, like a career, like not like a job. They show up, not a hobby. I think the biggest problem most people have in this industry is they treat this like a hobby, and hobbies
Mm.
cost money, right? I spend enough money, right? This should be making you money. If it's not making you money, it's because you're probably not taking it seriously to the level you should be. And I'll be completely honest because people need to know this. I was a product of that once upon a time. I don't know if I think I told you this, Donnie, but for
Mhm.
the first 4 months of me paying for my subscription, we pay $99 here. Our subscription in our last company was like $300+. I spent like over $1,000 without opening up a One Academy video. Okay, I was that guy. I hated all the Telegram chats notifications. I was like so negative about it. Now it's funny because I'm the opposite, right? I'm always in the chats. I'm probably the most active in the chats. And I've been trading now for like 5 years, but what made that switch and is really like the decision to just like take this thing seriously, like I said, and treat it like a profession, right? I just saw like the ability to really just become your own boss, the ability to make as much money as you want, the ability to, take your laptop, take your cell phone and just, go live on a beach somewhere and make money, man, and then help other people do the exact same thing. Tony Robbins says this. He says success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. And I get
Mhm.
so much fulfillment out of helping other people win and helping other people grow. And I know you do too. But like when you really change somebody's life with this industry, there's no better feeling. So yeah, man, I think I answered that question. So
That was, yeah, no, that was good, man. It's one of my favorite quotes. Yeah, and it hits every time. It's so true. The fulfillment is more important than anything. It's like if whatever you're doing isn't fulfilling and it's not fueling you to continue going forward and doing that thing, there is something like that that you will find it. And if that was for me, I was very blessed and grateful growing up because finding that like teaching and speaking was a passion was something that I discovered early on. And that was like shout out to the moms one time, right? Drop some moms in the chat, some threes in the chat for the
Shout
moms.
out the moms. Yeah, shout out the moms.
Yeah, you
Huge.
drop some threes in the chat for the moms one time because my mom was someone that saw an innate ability in me when I was very young. I remember a conversation that was had at a parent teacher interview in grade two. And very few people know this. Some people on the call might. Grade two, Miss Strapanowski, crazy last name. Yeah, ever have that teacher who's just got like a ridiculous last name? You're like, what? How do you say that? I'm just gonna call you Ms. S. Miss Strapanowski has this parent teacher interview with my mom. She's like, your son is very loud. Your son's very loud. He's someone who, when he speaks, the whole room stops and listens. Like he is a very loud individual. And it's so crazy because that I was in grade two at the time. And it wasn't just like, oh, this guy's being loud and annoying. It was like there was a voice that was being in like taken, it was being received well. And it was powerful. And that was what she was sharing. She wasn't sharing it as like a critique to my mom. She was like saying, like, this is something that I haven't seen before, kind of thing. And I remember my mom sharing that story with me a number of years later after she put me into camps. I was doing summer camps and stuff like that with the city of Kitchener in Ontario for quite some time, 6, almost 7 years. And that transitioned into after school programs, before school programs, which, as you guys can probably connect the dots, led me to teachers college. And it was like, everybody was telling me to go to school. So I was like, okay, I enjoy this, so I'm going to go that way. Right. And so it's interesting. It's just interesting that the journey, the progression, where we're at now, why we made the transition. I mean, for me, just to kind of touch on this briefly too, it was I realized as I was in school, like university, I was at a point where I was in my second year. So I would have had 4 more years after this because it's a 4 year degree and then 2 years teachers college after. So 6 years total to become a teacher. This was the route that I was taking. It can be different depending on what route you decide to go. And whilst in school, I was doing all of this and I was really starting to see the vision with this. This is when we first met, 2019 at the end of the year was when I decided to drop out of my program.
I remember going to I think it was Laurier Waterloo, and we were like doing
Yeah, we used to do events at the schools.
events at the schools because you had class, and then after class we would do events. I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, man, we used to, it's so cool. And this is something that I think anybody that's on here that's in school, you should do this. And you don't necessarily have to drop out. Like, I'm not condoning that. For me, it's what made the most sense, but I almost wish that I didn't. For my first degree, I wish I actually just stuck in school, finished it, and had the opportunity to just continue networking and teaching in that environment because it was super fun. We would have these classroom setups, do presentations and just educating people on what it is that we got going on, what it is that we do. And it was a cool opportunity to do so. And then when I withdrew from my program, I can't just walk in there and be like, hey, I used to be a student here. I'd like to book this room. It doesn't really work. So, but yeah, the reason that I did withdraw from the program was like I had to come to reality in that like the curriculum that we're familiar with is very specific. And there's a lot of things that I believe and that I share and that we teach now that isn't in alignment with that curriculum. And I couldn't move forward teaching off a curriculum that I didn't fully agree with, and this is very alternative what we talk about and what we do. And so I wanted to start teaching in this field and really start teaching at a big level in this field. So that's why I stuck around. And it's cool to see the progression, man. I mean, it's been some time, but I mean, here we are. We're here. We're doing it bigger than ever before. We've got resources and tools that, I mean, if we had these when we first started, it's just crazy to look back on and think about where we would be.
Facts, bro. Facts. Yo, we were building with I was building with a welcome text. That was it. No website. But yo, what I was gonna say, bro, to your point and what we were saying is like, and I say it on op calls, but I don't like we go quick, right? Like the
Mhm.
reality is this. It's like if you're not developing a product, you're not building an app, right? You're not, creating the next light bulb. Something you got. I mean,
That was good.
you know, what is going to get you to six figures?
Mm.
What's going to get you to $1 million? Like I always say, if not this, then what? And I
Hmm.
think it's like really, really true, and people don't really take it in, you know?
Totally. Yeah, there's not very many industries where you're in a position to have no captive income. You know,
I mean,
like
you can
there's
become like a drug dealer, but I don't suggest it. You might end
I
up
would
in,
not recommend.
yeah,
Definitely not
let's not
recommend.
talk about that. But yeah,
Yeah.
anyways, bro, let me ask you a question. So you asking me, why trading, why affiliate marketing? Let me ask you guys. Let me ask you this, Donnie. Okay. Guys, for those of you who don't know Donnie, for those of you who do know Donnie, Donnie is a massive trader mon, we like to call it. Um, on track to being an educator for economy. Oops, slipped. Um, you know, he's the Revolt educator. He's our team educator. And bro, like you're a nasty trader, right? You have the results, you have the receipts.
That's
Okay.
key. Receipts are
That's
key.
your documentation beats conversation. All right. Nugget of gold for you. I hope y'all are taking notes. Um, but bro, I have a question for you.
I'm kind of nervous about this one.
Why do you build the business? Like, why do you do the affiliate side, the network marketing when you're making, I'm not going to throw any numbers out there. That's for you to just, share if you want to, but you're making very good money trading. Why do you build the business as well? When you've been trading for 5 years, you're basically an educator. Why do you build, not just trade?
Yeah, this is a good one. This is a good one. And it's funny because when I first got involved in the space, I had no intention of really building. I just wanted to become the best trader and then teach people how to be the best traders. And that's still the goal. And that's why I build. It's just kind of funny because we come into the space and that's the main priority. That's the main focus. Like we want to get this thing down. But a lot of people don't realize is that the best way to learn is through teaching. The best way to learn is literally through teaching. And this is facts. Like if you have a hard time articulating what it is that you're currently learning to another person, you don't have that understanding yet. And part of the reason that I got to the point that I did in such a short period of time, I was just to backtrack on this, 2018, April, right? April 2018 to March 2019, no community, no mentorship, no nothing. Just Donnie doing research on YouTube, meditating and discovering personal development through God's grace and synchronicities and people, circumstances, situations, and events. Miraculously, coincidentally, as nobody on this call would say, but some people would say. And when I got introduced to the community, I had mentorship. I had somebody to learn from. And I very quickly just naturally started to pick up on this stuff and teach it to everybody in the organization, not even just my organization, but everybody on the team. And that was what really allowed me to get concepts and a foundation solidified was like, if I can explain to you exactly how to do XYZ, but as I'm explaining it, I realize actually, wait a minute, I can't fully explain this in the best possible way. It means I don't have that concept fully integrated yet. And so that was something that actually allowed me to get to a point of being, where I'm at as a trader now. And we're always this is a good quote to write down is you'll never get it. You're always getting it. So many people, and we'll talk about this actually a little bit more too, but we never get it. We're always getting it. Like this, it's super, super important. So I can't stand here or sit here. I'm just sitting.
Mm,
I can't be on this podcast vibe call and say that I have it all figured out. Like I'm learning all the time. And I love to learn. And that's a state. In order to be the best teacher, you have to first be the best student.
mm,
And so the reason that I build a business and the reason that I think affiliate marketing is really cool and I love doing what we're doing is because one, I'm constantly learning new things. It's allowed me to get to the place in terms of understanding that I'm at now. And it's impact, man. It's impactful. How could I, even before I was making money, even before I was doing this full time, making a full time income, the breakthroughs that I was having were just immense in the trading space, in the mindset personal development space, in the belief in what is possible. I think belief is such a huge thing. we joke about $1 million a month being not a lot of money. It's a lot of money to 99.5% of people in the world. $1 million, just generally speaking, is a lot, let alone $1 million a month. But it's all about your belief. It's like what do you believe is possible and how can you raise your belief? $1 million won't seem like a lot of money when you're in a room sitting at a table as the only person that's not making $1 million. Same can be said with six figures. Same can be said with $5,000 a month. Like that, like for me, when I started out, I wasn't even focused too much on that. It was just a learning. But when it got to the point of, I've always, I love to teach, I love to speak. And so I got very quickly into that mode. And as I was having these breakthroughs, these cognitions, I would share it right away. I would further establish, and I wasn't even doing this consciously, by the way. This is like in hindsight, just saying, oh, this is actually why I was able to get to the point that I'm at, is because like I had people to share it with, my friends, the people that I was able to bring into the business and do this together with. Like nobody wants to come in alone. We were on a mentorship call this weekend, and they were talking about the importance of doing things in a group and the accountability that's there, the energy, the dynamic that's there in comparison to somebody just doing this solo. The fact that I stuck it out for a year completely solo, I don't even know how I did that, to be honest. Like I don't know
Right.
how anybody could do that, because it's one of those things where it's like if you don't know or you don't have the resources to be doing well for yourself, you're probably going to be gone in like 2 months because you're just going to be blowing money and not knowing what you're doing. So I say all that to say, building the business is number one, it's a great way for you to get to a position where you have people that you can teach. And as you're teaching, you're further integrating. You are getting to a point of deeper understanding, number one. Number two, it's allowing you to have a community of a group of individuals that you can work with on a more close and intimate level with the education, with the learning of the skill set. And then number three, obviously it's nice to have that extra income, man, being compensated for working as a group of people, and with the affiliate marketing side of things, being in a position to be compensated is fantastic. So it's having that extra stream that I think is great as well. So yeah, good question. And to leeway off of that one too, I have a couple other things written down that I wanted to touch on specifically, is on the topic of community and specifically like mentorship. Yeah, I mean, you're someone who's worked with some of the pinnacle leaders in the space. If I think I could say that pretty fairly, like pinnacle, like top of the top, the tip of the tip of the iceberg kind of thing, like top of the chain, top of the food chain. Alex Morton, Bob Proctor, Matt Rosa, Jason Brown, like being to the point of having like their phone numbers and a call away with all these individuals is immensely valuable. And rest in peace to Bob Proctor, the GOAT. But I know that was someone that you had that kind of a relationship and connection to. So what is the value in utilizing your mentors? Because I know this because they've told me and they've shared this, that you would constantly be blowing them up, constantly blowing whoever you could up, maybe even not those pinnacle leaders, but just any leaders that you had access to, blowing them up, leveraging them, utilizing them. So I guess, like, what is the power that comes from that? And maybe it's like an obvious question to answer, but even just to touch on it briefly, like what is the power that comes in utilizing mentors, and share with, I guess, the audience here that's here live or watching the recording, why it's so important to leverage and utilize the mentorship when it's there.
Yeah, and I think like that's an amazing question, bro. Is like I believe mentorship is just a shortcut to success. Like maybe you've heard me say that before. But mentorship is truly a shortcut to success. It helps you compress time frames, right? Like they can teach you what they did in 5 years, you can do it in 1 year, right? And I think that's a massive key component of mentorship that is extremely overlooked. I think majority of people, I would say 80% of people take mentorship for granted or don't value it the way they should. I've spent, you already know this, tens of thousands of dollars on courses, on one-on-one mentorship. I was literally telling you on the phone today, about Mark Lucetta. He's like, I was like, his mentorship. He was like 10 grand a session, right? You know what I mean? Like, um, mentorship is literally a massive key to success. And one thing I wanted to say about what you said about building is like the proximity, like write this down. Proximity is power if you're taking notes. Like who you get around is who you become, right? Like you are the average of your 5 people you hang out with, your best friends, your mentors, everybody else. Like I've gotten into rooms, I've gone into dinners, I've gotten into masterminds, I've gotten invited on trips because I built the business. Okay. So this is like a massive, massive nugget for you guys. Like, for example, I've been on like trips with guys that are, all the names that Donnie mentioned, spending, nights in a hotel, dinners on end, right? Surrounding myself with people that have a better results than me. I remember when I was broke, making $600 a month inside of our last company. And I went to a dinner and everyone there was like a 6, 7 figure earner. And then the one guy's like, yo, he's like, honestly, man, he's like, I'm tired of being a millionaire. He's like, he's like, million's nothing, man. He's like, a billion is the new million with the way the world's going. I'm sitting there, bro. I barely made like, this is like 4 years ago. I'm like, bro, I barely made like 2 grand a month last month. You know what I mean? And just that, like, there's a quote. It's once the mind is expanded, it cannot go back. Right. So because of my mentorship and proximity to people like Bob, Alex, Jason, Matt, like, hanging out with guys that they're $10 or they're like $1,000, $10,000 is like $10 to us. All right. $100, whatever the case is. It just puts you in a different mindset, man. It puts you in a different mindset. And this comes back to your question, bro. Like what I asked you is like, why do you build the business? It's like, if I didn't build the business, I wouldn't have got access to proximity like that. Like people that are you look up to, like they want people that are hungry. I think I saw somebody say persistence in the chat earlier, that are persistent, that are like, wanting to learn. My desire has always been so high, so hungry to win and get there, that I just was noticed. People always ask me, how did you get Alex to be your mentor? How did you get Bob? Da, da, da. Like, bro, I put in the freaking work and I kept showing up. Yeah, maybe you're a little bit annoying, sure, but it doesn't matter. Like, I'll be honest, bro. There's people that are in our team that don't even like, bro, like you guys should be hitting me up on a daily basis or Donnie up, like genuinely, like it's information. I always say it, information is not meant to go to you, it's meant to go through you. It's like what I teach, I've learned from guys that are making 1 million a month, 3 million a month, right? 100K a month, whatever the case is, man. And I think principles and stuff like that, you can just pass that along and people can take it and run. At the end of the day, you got to do the work, but mentorship is literally a shortcut to success. People need to utilize their mentors more. I go to courses, events constantly. I'm always investing in myself because the best investment you can make is in yourself. So I really think that people take it for granted and need to shift that because, man, like it's crazy. Like I literally was telling you today, I was like, Mark was like telling me it's 10 grand for a session for an hour with him. You know what I mean? Like, all these guys like Bob, Alex, all these guys could charge, the same thing. So I said that all to say is like, really utilize your mentors. Like they've been where you are and know how to help get to where you want to go. So it's like, why aren't you utilizing them more? Like I text my mentors. I would text them every day, all day until they answered. I would text them, they'd answer, and then I talk to them, and then I text them the next day. Like some of you guys don't even reach. I'll be cool. I'll be real. If y'all on the team, some of you guys don't even reach out to me or Donnie. It's like it's like we should not be reaching out to you. Like you should be texting your mentors. You know what I
We don't
mean?
buy. We don't. Well, I can't speak on Tommy. I don't buy.
I don't
I don't.
bite. I don't bite. I don't. I don't. But like genuinely, like here to serve, here to help, here to grow, man. And I get fulfillment out of doing this thing. So
Do,
I love
man.
I love seeing people win. So I think that sums up that answer there. So
An interesting point I'll just mention is sometimes the people that you least expect to respond are the most likely to respond because they're
right.
not actually being reached out to. Like I used to have this mentality on social media where it's like, oh, this person's got like 10K followers, like they're not gonna respond to me. And then I would have messaged them. But then I had someone share that point with me, and I was like, wait, let me try this out. And then I tried this out. I actually reached out to people that had big followings, whatever, da da da. And it's true. They actually are more responsive. than what you might think. And it's not that, we're all equal, like as individuals, as humans, we are all equal.
100%.
And
100%.
it's like there is no pedestal to be putting somebody on, and there's no need to be worried. I mean, what's the worst case that happens? Worst case scenario, you reach out to somebody, they don't get back to you. Okay, cool, no worries. If you're working with us, we're gonna get back to you. Like,
Yeah.
and Tommy's quick at getting back to people usually. I'm quick at getting back to people usually, and by quick I mean within 24 hours. Okay? It's not gonna be like a minute or two later. We got, Tommy's a busy guy going to the gym. He's got personal development stuff, doing, calls and this and that and whatever. We're busy, but it's we make the time for the people that reach out. I think that's the bottom line. And that's the same case with our mentors, the people we work with and learn from.
Yeah, I
So
think I think just another point is like, okay, if you want to make six figures trading or building, it's like if you're not surpassed you and I, why wouldn't you be like blowing us up?
mm,
I'm gonna leave it at that. So
facts.
I'm gonna leave it at that, bro. Because that's what I was doing. Like I was like, bro, tell me what to do next. What do I do? And then I go do it. Some people get the game plan and they don't even run the play, man. You just got to run the play once you get the plan.
Mm,
So, um, but yeah, no, I wanted to segue, bro, off of that. And yeah, what is it? What's it called? What my question for you would be, kind of moving to more of the trading side, the investing side. What would you say, bro? Like, obviously, there's trading and investing, right? Some people
yeah.
think they're the same thing. They're really not. Like, what would you say is the difference between trading and investing, and then which one is like more important in your opinion?
Yeah, big misconception. They're totally different things. A lot of people will share like, oh, you know, okay, I'll frame it like this. So trading and investing, two different things. If you're taking notes, write this down because there's a key concept to understand and integrate, even if you're already in the space, just to make sure you're not sharing this in the wrong way. Trading is your ability to be actively engaged in the market to turn a profit. It's short term. It's not buying and holding and waiting. It's active interaction in the market. That's trading. Nice thing with trading, you can make money both ways. Doesn't matter if the market's going up or down. You can profit both directions. And we, talk about this all the time in house in the community. Excuse me. Investing is the longer term play. It's a lot more passive. It doesn't take much time. And it's just a matter of positioning the capital that you have in the right places. And I think the more important of the two, if I had to say that there's one that's more important than the two, it would be investing for sure. Because who wouldn't want to put the money that they have in a savings account or some of the portion of their paycheck every single month into longer term positions that will appreciate and maintain, at least maintain with inflation value, but more likely than not appreciate in value over time. So they're both equally powerful. In fact, I would say that trading can be more powerful. We have this thing that we share all the time, trading is for anyone, but it's not for everyone, in that anyone can do it. Doesn't matter where you're from, doesn't matter whether you got as nice hair as Tommy or not, doesn't matter who you are or what the case is. You can do this, but it's just a matter of, do you resonate with it? And the reality is like trading is it that's a 1% skill. It really is. But if you understand trading, it's something that you can apply to investing, which makes the investing even more powerful. And you'll see the bigger returns. You'll know how to time the market better. You'll know how to go about it in a really big way. But I would say, yeah, biggest difference, short term versus long term, investing is probably more important because more people need to be investing and educating themselves on investing. And investing can be into crypto, it can be into precious metals, it can be into stocks, it can be into real estate, it can be into businesses. There are so many different things that you can invest into.
Bro,
Create.
on investing, I gotta stop you, bro. If you're not in crypto yet, like, yo, drop a one if you're not in crypto. Like, you don't own any crypto. Drop a one. It's okay. Drop
I
a
know we
two.
got some new people on here, so
Drop a
let's.
two. Drop a two if you do own
No
crypto.
shame, no shame.
Drop a one if you don't own crypto. All right. So we at least have five ones. What would you say, bro, on investing, the topic of investing, or someone that's barely in crypto?
Hmm.
Bitcoin's at 70K. They should obviously we should have been DCAing, over a year ago. But what would you tell that newest person that's like, man, like, should I get it now? Am I too late? Obviously we have DeFi verse, but like, what would you say to them? And like, what would be a little bit of like maybe like a mini roadmap without going too green on it?
Oh man, it's gonna be tough. All right, the synopsis, the Spark Notes answer. Yeah, I mean, everybody's talking about crypto right now. And if you aren't hearing people talking about crypto right now, you certainly will be. Well, I mean, you're hearing us talking about it right now, but you will certainly hear about crypto a lot more, especially in the mainstream media over the next year. And it's because we have cycles. I'm not going to get into the cycles because I'm going to do my best to keep this a short answer. We're coming up on the time that we want to end this podcast around the hour mark, which will be about 15 minutes. But what would I suggest to somebody that doesn't have exposure, that's looking to add to their exposure? I think the biggest thing is educating yourself. I mean, and there's many ways you can go about doing that. I think the reason that a lot of people don't have exposure is because they aren't educated and they don't take the time to educate themselves. The breakthrough that I had in 2018 when I first started investing, lost $20,000 my first year and a half, was because I didn't have an education. I didn't have any sort of understanding of what I was doing. But it was through the education that I was then getting for myself and doing myself the research, the digging, if you will, that turned that situation around, that turned the idea or the vision of my mind of being able to put my money to work for me to, do this thing for the rest of my life, that turned that into a reality. And for you, it's even just investing, like being able to see a return on your investment. Crypto is one of the most opportunistic times to, or most opportunistic asset classes to be getting exposure in right now. And one thing that I will share just really, really quickly, and I won't go too deep into this, is just to actually show you guys what we have in terms of crypto education, because this is, in my opinion, and from, all the tens of thousands of dollars that I've spent on either losing money in the market, mentorship myself, different platforms, et cetera, the list and, everything goes on. This is what we've put together and what we leverage that has just been the best for learning. So I'm going to pull this up really quickly and do my best to keep this short. I'm going to pull this up and then share my screen here really quickly. So this is what the portal actually looks like. This is what education looks like. This is what it should look like. Okay, you have a couple different things. Share my screen here. So, whoops, hold up. We got OpenSea coming up on screen here. This is another
Big
element
NFT.
of crypto. But coming up to, hold on a second here. I think I got to go back into the link. There we go. All right, you guys can see the right screen now.
Very good.
Perfect. So this is where the learning takes place. This is the platform that we have for crypto education, and where I would say is the best place to look. So you got trade ideas, paid educators on the platform that will send out trade ideas and give you the opportunity to copy paste and profit with the people that know what they're doing already in the space. So you can be earning while you're learning. There's trade ideas that are sent out on a regular basis. The wins, the losses, they're all documented. This is an idea that I took on Friday. Absolute banger. This was an 18% in less than 48 hours trade. Past profits just don't guarantee future results. No income claims, but I mean the data's there. Okay, the results are there. But this is a trade idea on one of the cryptos from this specific area. This is around the $5.30 mark. And this ended up running to $6.30 in, like I said, less than 48 hours. So that was a winning trade idea that was shared. The learning side of things, there's a learn section. There's a bunch of pre-recorded material, intro into different trading platforms, crypto basics. You got the trading basics, advanced. I mean, there's so much good material in here that you have access to really establish a foundation and build upon that. And then the live sessions. So all the educators that are calling out trade ideas also do live sessions for you guys to take advantage of. And so these are live and recorded Monday to Friday throughout the week. Immensely valuable, and where I would definitely uh, say to turn to, honestly. And for the price that you're paying for this as well, it's immensely valuable for the price. And so this is what I would say to do if you are looking to get exposure in crypto. Some of you are already a part of the organization. Drop some fire emojis in the chat if you're a part of the community, whether you're in crypto or on the other side with foreign exchange and stocks and stuff like that. And you are seeing some results, you're getting some value within the community. We can see that obviously there's a number of individuals that are in the room there as well, in the living room, also on this little podcast style call that we just finished a mastermind, talking about the charts, talking about different things. And so keep the fire emojis coming if you are in the space and you are seeing some value, because we love to see it. And so that's what I would say. That's the Spark Notes answer. Trust me, I could do a whole call talking more specifically on everything crypto. And maybe I will. Maybe I mean I did not long ago. Maybe I'll do another one. Yeah, I think people got to know. They got to know how to go about doing things. They got to know when to go about doing things. And I just love
Yep.
talking.
Yeah, I think if you
So
don't have DeFi verse too, and you're like on foreign exchange and you're a part of the team, it's $69 a month. I don't know why they chose that price point, but go add it on.
yeah, $69 add-on. It's $149 your first month, $99 a month from there on out. No gym membership BS. You cancel anytime, pause, renew anytime. Lots of flexibility for anybody that's not a part of the community. But I guess the last thing, just to end this thing off,
Yeah.
tell me again, we've talked a lot about mentorship. We've talked a lot about community. Last question, and this is a good one. So stick around until we finish this one up. This one I actually like took a lot of time and poured into this one. I
Okay.
mean, the other ones I thought were good too, but this is like the best one. From all the thousands of dollars that you spend, the thousands of hours that you've spent in this space, trading, investing, affiliate marketing, public speaking. This guy's spoken on stage in hundreds of cities at this point. What if you had to attribute your success to one thing? And I know this is going to be hard to answer, but if you had to attribute your success to one thing, what would it be?
That's crazy. That's a good question. Wow.
I cooked that one up. Come on, I cooked on that one, right? That
So
was a
put
good
this
one.
on.
Oh, I forgot to show. I'm wearing my Bitcoin shirt.
I
That I
told
told
I
you.
told you so. I love it. Is that
I've
the
I
one?
had this one back in 2018.
I think
I
that
have a
was the shirt I think that was the shirt I beat you up in at the Kamloops gym.
Oh yeah, we had a sparring match and Tommy beat me. I've been training though.
Yeah. All right, we'll
I've
run
been
it back.
training.
I had a broken wrist basically. So but yeah, so what was the question? What would I attribute all my success to if I had to
If
say one
if you
thing?
had to, sorry, I know I got distracted. I was like, oh yeah, I was supposed to show this for crypto. If you had to attribute all of your success to one thing over the hours and money that you've invested into learning and your journey so far, what would it be?
There's not one thing, bro. There's like multiple things within
That's
one.
why I made the question. It's a tough one.
I think okay, I have a couple answers, so I'm just gonna pack it all in one. I would say the
But
number one thing though, like the number one thing. Who wants it? Do you guys want it? Drop a one.
geez, let me see that. Let me see the ones in the chat for this
Only
one.
three ones on this call. I need some more ones, man.
Dang, chat's blowing up right now. That's
All
crazy.
right. All right. I would say the number one thing is just decide.
Mm.
Make the decision to go all in. Like no one on this call, no one's made that decision yet. Because the minute you make that decision is when you'll get quantum leaps inside of your business and inside of your results, your life, everything. You need to just make the decision to go all in. One of my mentors taught me this. He said, Tommy, when you decide, everything else must die, right? It's a committed decision, right? It's not a decision, right? It's a committed decision. See, most people make decisions like, I'm going to decide to drink this kombucha and get on the Zoom call tonight, right? But some people said that and they left the call early 20 minutes ago. They didn't make a committed decision to staying on the call, right? Some people say, well, I'm going to go icon this year and make six figures. But then they crash their car and they got to pay for a new car. Then they get an unexpected bill. Then a family member passes away. I'm just keeping it real. I'll share a very close story to my heart. Like, my mom got diagnosed. Shout out Lisa one time. She's healed, by the way. I'm going to share the story with you guys, anyways. My mom got diagnosed with breast cancer. Okay. It's crying, whole 9 yards. Horrible, horrible thing. And fuck cancer for all the people that have went through that or that in their family. But my mom got diagnosed with breast cancer. And I could have used that as an excuse to quit. I can't recruit. I can't recruit. I can't manage a team. I can't promote an op call. I can't show up to the next convention. I can't do this because my family's going through this. You know what I did? I did the polar opposite. I made the committed decision that no matter what happens in my life, like this is where I'm going, and I'm gonna get it done, man. I had no idea how. See, the how is irrelevant. How is irrelevant. It's the why that was what matters. See, when the why is so strong, the how becomes irrelevant. Write that one down. You need to know why you're doing this thing. If you're just doing this for an extra $600 a month, man, amazing. But it's like if you want to go six figures, you want to go seven, you want to go 5 grand a month, even like your why and desires got to become so strong. See, most people make all their problems in a life an excuse. You know what I do? I'm like a little bit of a psycho. I use it a good one though, like like an Albert Einstein. He was a little bit psychotic too. Right? All the crazy ones are successful, but you got to take all the negativity, man, all the things that happen in your personal life, in your life. If you're broke right now, it doesn't freaking matter, dude. You use that as motivation and you decide and you go all in. A committed decision is what most people don't make. A committed decision says, I'm going to go here. Like let's say your goal is icon 9, right? Drop the word icon if you want to go icon, for example, in the chat. If you don't know what that is and you're watching this recording, it's $10,000 a month. All right. Let's say your goal is icon 9. Okay. But then your entire team quits and you go back to rank 0. Well, Tommy, my entire team quit. I can't go icon anymore. I have no team. Then that's not a committed decision. That was a decision you made based upon where you're currently at, but you didn't make a committed decision because the committed decision is saying no matter what happens, no matter who comes with me, no matter who dies, like I'm keeping it a buck, man. No matter what happens in my personal life, this is where I'm going and I'm going to get there. See, when I decided that I was going to, for example, speak on stage at our convention in Orlando as a P5, right? You remember that? I said, I'm gonna figure it out, man. I'm gonna get it done, and we got it done. I think Mike was at my house. Olivia was here. They watched some magic happen, right? The universe just works in your favor. I'm not gonna go down the spiritual route, but this, bro. When you decide, like, I'm getting it done, it just everything starts showing up for you. So I think to answer your question and tie it all together, man, instead of using all the shit going wrong in your life as an excuse, use it as motivation to go a lot harder and make a committed decision and become a professional inside this industry. Decide you're going to do it. Stop looking for reasons why you can't do it and start focusing on reasons why you can do it. And then just become a professional, man. Learn the skills. If it's going icon, the 7 skills, master the 7 skills, right? Become the leader you want to attract. Become a professional. Use every negative thing in your life. You go through a breakup, your girlfriend cheats on you, your mom gets diagnosed with cancer. Buddy, I went through all of it. I went through all that. You saw me go through all that. Maybe I'm being too open right now. Doesn't matter because maybe my story relates with you. Because if nothing changes, nothing changes. And at the end of the day, if you want that result, you need to change. You need to decide now because you're going to wake up 5 years from now and be in the exact same freaking place if you don't decide to go all in. If you don't decide to take advantage of your mentors, if you don't decide to make that committed decision. So what I challenge everybody to do leaving this call is decide something you want. If it's icon, make that committed decision, man, that's where you're going and you're going to get it done no matter what happens. Right. And if that's your decision, there's no brainer why you shouldn't be in Vegas. Right. There's no brainer why you shouldn't be filling your calendar up, outworking me and Donnie. Right. I remember shout out my one of my mentors, Matt Rosa. I would DM him, bro. I was like, I'm outworking you, bro. And I would send him my calendar. I was just like, come on. But we had fun with it. And we almost bet 10 grand to see who did more calls. It was crazy. But that's the mentality. You got to have that mentality, man, to truly get it done and to show up for yourself every day, no matter what happens, and just decide. So to
Mm.
answer your question, if I could attribute all my success, it's making a committed decision that this is where I'm going and I'm going to get it done no matter what, no matter the how, no matter who, no matter what happens, that's where I'm going.
Amen to that, brother. That was very well said. That's a powerful story. I appreciate you for sharing that. I didn't know all of that, by the way. There was some things in there that you included that I didn't even know. There's
I
some
got
same
to
with the
go
Netflix
open.
thing earlier on the call. I didn't know you were on a Netflix show. I might have to go do some digging. Some other things I didn't know about Tommy that I'm learning about Tommy on this call. But man, that was
I've been digging.
yeah, they're already digging in the chat. We love to see it. Yeah, powerful answer, man. I agree. Decision is so important. So important, man. And anybody that's on the call, just to wrap things up here, we're getting to the hour mark. If you're someone who's new to the space, make that decision. Make that decision to do this thing. Get back to the person who invited you onto the call, invited you here today, invited you to watch this podcast recording and get your questions answered, man. Let them know what you like best. Let them know where you have questions, and we're here to support you guys. We're here to have calls and conversations like this because, I mean, we enjoy them. One, but two, they're valuable and they're meant to, like Tommy was saying earlier on the call, information is meant to go to you, sorry, through you, not to you.
And if
So
you're on the team, man, just decide, make a committed decision tonight. And if you actually do that, yo, message me what that decision was. I would love for you to do that. Like genuinely shoot me a text on Instagram, Telegram, iMessage, whatever the crap. And honestly, I would love to know what that decision was because that's what's going to get the results you want. When you make that decision, your work ethic changes, everything changes. So decide you're going to do it and it's already done. And what does that mean? It's already done. It means it's done in the spiritual. Physical is just going to catch up. We always say the back office is loading, right? So
that
yeah, man,
faith,
I think we wrap it up there. Do you guys get value tonight? What do you guys drop some drop the word value in the chat if you guys got value tonight.
let's see the values in the chat. I had a lot of fun. I got some value. I got some value. I got immense value just from sharing and having the conversation. Looks like a lot of people in the chat enjoyed it as well. And I'm sure the people that are on the recording made it this far also got immense value. And so, with all of that being said, we will see you guys at the top. From the top, Tommy, finish the sentence.
Because the bottom is way too crowded, and go post your biggest takeaway inside of the family chat. We'll see y'all soon tomorrow night, Monday markets with Donnie. Be there. If you're not on the team, join, be there. See you guys soon. Love you all.
Take care, everybody. Peace and love.